Peter Siskel, founder of UPW Wrestling, joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970 as UPW has an event at the Delft next weekend in Escanaba. Peter, welcome to the Sports Pen on ESPN 970. What has been the reaction of bringing UPW Wrestling back to the Upper Peninsula?
Well, a little history. Myself, Rick McCarty, Brett Weber, and Shane Junick started UPW in 1999. We're just a bunch of kids. You know, we're all in our 30s now. Three of us are back. One of us isn't. We decided as kids, you know, we all got some training, decided we wanted to become wrestlers, and we decided, well, there's no wrestling in the UP, so we started it then. You know, as kids, we didn't know what we were doing. And to get it back going, a group of concert promoters named Freedom Entertainment contacted me about how can we bring back UPW last summer. So we talked about it, and we decided to come back for one show last June, and the response has been overwhelming. So right now we had 3 shows last year, and we already have 6 shows booked for 2012, and it's exciting. Like I haven't been this excited about it since my wedding and the birth of my child. This is some great stuff going on.
Peter Siskel joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970 talking about the UPW. He's the founder of UPW, and you've had some great guests up here. Before we get to them, you said you were trying to become a wrestler. How did that end up for you, and how much do you enjoy wrestling?
Well, as a child, I was a nerdy kid in the back of the class reading Pro Wrestling Illustrated, drawing pictures of wrestlers in my book. It's something I always wanted to do. How it became for me, I currently am a professional wrestler. I've been doing it for the past 13 years. I wrestle under the name Peter Be Beautiful. I've been in Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 Wrestlers for the past 3 years in a row. I mean, I'm not like the Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin, but you know, I've been around. I've done stuff for the WWE. I've been to Puerto Rico. You know, it's fun. I love it.
You got to love it. I mean, because obviously you don't get into this, especially with what people call indie shows, for the pay, and you do it for the love of wrestling.
God, no, you don't do it for the pay. Myself, I'm to a point now where I can demand a little bit of money. You know, still not making much money. But I remember driving 12 hours to Marion, Indiana, myself and Slick Rick for $20. You know, so yeah.
Just to get noticed.
Just for a chance, you know, just for an opportunity. Growing up in Escanaba, my first show was in River Rouge, Michigan, and I got paid $8. And River Rouge is right outside Detroit.
It's not a big payday there, Peter.
No, not at all. There's also 12 people in the crowd at that show.
What are people going to be able to expect to see at your show?
Well, the February 11th show next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but Saturday afterwards, I can guarantee they will see some hardcore action. And we're bringing in one of the godfathers of hardcore wrestling, Sabu.
Now, Peter, I said yesterday that someone's going through a table.
I can guarantee it.
Yes! I wasn't wrong yesterday.
You were wrong last time. Rhyno didn't put anybody through a table.
Ah. Well,
Yeah.
you got to be batting 500.
Right. Well, with Sabu, I can guarantee Sabu will put somebody through a table.
Or he'll go through a table himself. That's just the way it works.
Right. I guarantee there will be tables and chairs. And you know what? I will put a money-back guarantee that somebody will bleed.
Well, that's good. Peter Siskel joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970, the founder of UPW Wrestling, an event that takes place again February 11th next weekend down at the Delft in Escanaba. How did you meet all these wrestlers? Because you've had X-Pac, you've had Doink the Clown, you had Rhyno, who we just mentioned, he was up here last time, the New Age Outlaws. You've had a lot of talent up here. How did you make contacts with all these guys?
Well, just from years and years of working in the independent circuit, you just run into different guys. Social media has been awesome to meet different wrestlers. That's how I got a hold of X-Pac, was through Facebook, actually. I've done some work for the Insane Clown Posse. That's how I met Rhyno and Sabu. It's just meeting different people on different shows. It's a big network. I could find anybody.
Well, you just actually, and this is one of the surprises last time, you had Raven come up here. Now, obviously, Raven was a huge deal, obviously, in ECW, WCW, and his stint in the WWE. How much do these guys like performing when they're not doing their regular tour stuff?
All the guys we have up have been, well, besides one, and I'm not going to name names, everybody we had up has loved coming to UPW, has loved coming to the UP. Most guys are excited about it because Upper Michigan is not somewhere these guys get to go on their big tours, and they're excited about wrestling new places. And all these guys love their fans. You know, they're always out signing autographs, you know, selling their pictures, you know, every show. You know, Rhyno was out there selling, X-Pac was out there for 4 hours signing autographs. I mean, every show these guys are out there. You know, they love their fans. I mean, they make a little bit more money than we do for coming into these little shows, but not enough to make it worth being away from home for a few days or whatever. You know, they're doing it for the fans.
Peter Sisko joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970, talking about UPW wrestling that takes place at the Delft next Saturday on February 11th. And you have some stars coming out. How much do the local guys love performing in front of the wrestling fans here? And how many local guys do you have?
Well, you know, we got a few guys. Some of the UPW originals are still around. Slick Rick, who's you know, our local Hall of Famer and crazy daredevil guy. He's from Escanaba. Our current UPW heavyweight champion, Supreme Brett Powers, originally from Escanaba, recently located back to Powers, Michigan. We have Melvin Hayes is an up-and-coming rookie out of Iron Mountain. We got a few local guys, a bunch of guys from Green Bay, Wisconsin, downstate Michigan, you know, all over. You know, we like to, you know, just because we're UPW Pro Wrestling, it doesn't stand for Upper Peninsula Wrestling like a lot of people think. It's Ultimate Pro Wrestling, and we literally bring you the ultimate entertainment. You know, the best professional wrestling from around the country.
Have you seen a resurgence in wrestling since the 1990s? Because there was a little lull there, and it seems like it's making its way back.
You know, I think, you know, not to offend any Upers, I think Upper Michigan's still stuck in the 90s.
That could be.
Now, I do see wrestling is obviously not as big as it was during the Austin NWO era, but yeah, wrestling goes up and down in cycles, and I definitely see it back on the upswing. And that's not why we started back UPW. We started it because the fans wanted it, and that's what we're here for. I mean, bottom line, if it wasn't for the fans of UPW, we wouldn't be doing this. Peter
Sisko joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970.
Pete, talk a little bit about tickets and where people can get tickets, how much they are, that kind of thing.
Oh, right now for this week only, you can get tickets online at www.upwprowrestling.com for $15. This is the last weekend you can get online pre-sales, or you can go to Jim's Music in Escanaba for advanced tickets for $15. Also at the door, tickets are $20, $10 for children at the Delft Night Club in Escanaba. I think it's 907 Ludington Street. Next Saturday, doors open at 6 p.m.
You have some top performers. Obviously, Sabu's going to be up here. Who are some of the other names you can expect next weekend?
Well, we have the big main event match is Slick Rick and Sabu versus Supreme Brett Powers and Peter Be Beautiful in an Extreme Rules tag team match. Ooh, I can guarantee that will get crazy. We have the Weed Man from Juggalo Championship Wrestling coming in, so any Juggalos out there, whoop whoop, come on out. Coming against international superstar Crimson, like the mask. We got TW3 finally getting a big waiter rematch against the American champion, the unbeatable Brian Skyline, who did beat Rhyno at the last show, even though you guys questioned it.
Well, you look at Rhyno and you look at Skyline, there should be no competition there. It's like 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Kane.
Right? No, 1, 2, 3 Kid probably beat Kane at some point.
Maybe with a little outside interference. I don't know.
Well, I think there was a title belt involved, and that's how Rhyno lost.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I absolutely love the storylines. Are there any major storylines going on with UPW Wrestling, especially how you're able to have more shows and whatnot this year?
Oh, yeah. There are huge storylines going on. We got the unbeatable Brian Skyline, who's been ducking TW3, who just recently signed a contract with TNA. TW3 did. He starts in July. But Brian Skyline's been ducking him. So they have their big return match next Saturday, February 11th, for the UPW American title in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. So there will be a definite winner. That's going to be exciting. They're 2 young cruiserweights that are amazing to watch. They're doing stuff that I can't do. That's for sure. We have Slick Rick, the UPW Hall of Famer, and all-around local crazy SOB, and his dream tag team partner, Sabu, literally the guy he grew up watching, taking on the newly reformed Supreme World Order of Supreme Brett Powers and Peter Beautiful, whose entire goal in life seems like it's to take Slick Rick back out of the business. Big things going on here.
Peter Cisco, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970. Delft, next Saturday, the 11th, UPW returns, and then you'll take March off here in the Upper Peninsula, and you come back in April, correct?
Well, March we're going to be in Aurora, Wisconsin.
Right.
So yeah, we'll be out of the UP, but that's right across the border from Iron Mountain. We're coming back in April, back to Escanaba. May is looking like we're going to be in the Marquette area. Not 100% sure. June we're back in Escanaba with our big anniversary show with some big surprises there. But let's not look past that. February 11th, next weekend at the Delft. It's going to be huge. Like you were saying, we have Raven as a surprise flash show. You never know who's going to show up in UPW.
No, and that's one of the things I love about your organization is I didn't even expect Doink the Clown to be there either, and I love Doink going back from the WWF days.
Well, Doink was advertised. We have a couple of WWF guys. Doink is a guy that we can bring on regularly. I've known him for years. We bring in the Patriot. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Patriot's a regular of ours. He made a surprise appearance on the last show as well. There are a few guys that we use regularly, and actually there's one guy that we're going to be starting using regularly who may or may not be there February 11th.
I have to ask because I got the Royal Rumble the other day. Any chance of like a guy like Hacksaw Jim Duggan coming anytime soon?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan's the guy we could get. I mean, it's not.
Of course you could. He's not signed with anybody.
Right. We haven't talked to Hacksaw. I've never had any negotiations with him. There will be a couple announcements at the February 11th show against some big name guests that are coming in for future shows. One of them is shocking. One of them is a guy so big I never expected would ever come to the Upper Michigan.
Okay.
But literally, if you're a wrestling fan in the 90s, you're going to freak out. We could say like this surprise is just too sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be there for sure. Peter will be there as well, wrestling and Extreme Rules tag team match. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, wasn't my idea.
Peter Cisco, the founder of UPW Wrestling and a professional wrestler himself, thank you so much for joining us on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970.
All right, thank you, Casey. We'll see everybody next Saturday, February 11th at the Delft.
Sounds good. Thank you. Peter Cisco, founder, UPW Wrestling, joins us right here on the Sports Pen on ESPN 970.